It doesn't take any magic to cut a piece of glass, and mirrors no different. As long as the glass is not tempered, you can cut it with a single strike and snap. If you're not afraid to cut a piece of glass, you shouldn't be afraid to cut a piece of wood either. And with a simple channel like this, you can make a minimalist frame. And this will give you the ability to make any custom-sized mirror that you'd want. Let's start with the woodwork. Making this frame is really easy. We start by making strips, in this case of maple, that are about 3/4 of an inch by 3/8. Into these, we will make a channel that goes halfway the height of the stock, and we will do this by taking 2 passes on the table saw, 1 to each side. The finished channel should be slightly loose fitting. We don't want it too tight because it might damage the silver on the back. This thing is an adjustable feather board, and all it does is presses the stock against the fence. It doesn't let it come back very easily. And that's because it's made of a whole bunch of these locking fingers that let the piece go forward, but they don't like to go backwards. And so through this we feed our stock. First making a cut that favors one side, and then when we're done, we just flip the stock around and come through to get the other side. One final note in case you've never used a featherboard before. Don't position it beyond the halfway point of the saw blade. You want to use it as a guide that leads up to the cut, but then once it's actually made the cut, you want the piece to be free of it. And if you really have never tried one before, what are you waiting for? It's a great little gizmo. Next, we set the blade so it's just high enough to take away one of these faces. You should never cross-cut against the fence. Usually never. But in this case, because we're only removing an 1/8 inch of material, we can bend the rule a little bit. The idea is simply to nibble away at both sides and then clean them up. And what remains is a tongue that we can use for a somewhat simple joinery. From here, there are assembly options. We can pin this tongue so that it goes through all 3 layers with a teeny tiny nail. And even if this little nail does poke through on the other side, I can just use a file to trim it off flush. A pin like this, along with some glue, should give it a pretty strong joint, even though it's really small. Let me show you one of the coolest things about this joinery method. Consider the following analogy. Hand goes to arm. Unlike a traditional miter, you can start putting this together before the lengths are even cut. You can just let them run long on all 4 sides. And then, once it's all been put together, then it can be cut using a miter saw, or a coping saw, or a hand saw. And finally, when it's really close, you can use a sander to get it perfectly flush. Look closely there, there, and there. I've added a few of these L-shaped blocks to hold the mirror in place. I'm not done yet. Look what I've added to the top. This little elliptical part will receive a second mirror so that I can fill up that space. Dimensions of the mirror. You want the mirror to come to about there. So this is the edge on one side, and over here on the right, this is the other edge. There is a trick to glass cutting. What is it? Confidence. I am the greatest glass cutter in the universe. And so are you, even if this is your first time. If this is the first time that you've ever cut a piece of glass, just act as though in your mind that you do this all the time. Okay, normally I would not advocate overconfidence. But in this case, it's a little different. You see, with glass, you only get one shot. And if you aren't confident, you might be hesitant. And if you're hesitant, you're not going to make a straight strike, and the piece of glass is going to get ruined. Make sure the glass is firmly set on a flat surface. We're going to apply a lot of force. How much force? Imagine that you were trying to cut through a 1/8 inch thick piece of acrylic glass. About that much force. Too much force, you'll crack it. Not enough, and you won't get the score that you need. Straight edge is a piece of white polyethylene, and it has electrical tape on its underside. It might be tricky for you to see, but that little sharp wheel aligns perfectly with my marker line. Make a few dry runs. Make sure you're going to be comfortable when you're applying pressure. And just as the dentist says, you don't have to floss all of your teeth, just the ones you want to keep. You don't have to clamp the straight edge on all of your glass cuts, just the ones that you don't want to screw up. Once you're confident, and remember, confidence is key here, we'll take a little bit of oil. This is a mixture of 3-in-1 and kerosene, 50-50. There's a 20-year-old Q-tip wrapped up in some copper, so it hangs there. Considerable force, but only one score. You get one chance, and do it quickly. That's it. Now I'm going to move it to the edge, and we're going to treat it just like it's a metal brake. Have the cut lined up. Oh, first, we want to propagate some cracks through it. Now we line it up. As I said, think of it kind of like a metal brake. Now you cross your fingers and even pressure from both sides. Perfect. Electrical tape makes a soft cushion. Next time I make one of these, I'm going to hold the tape back from the corners, about 1/4 of an inch. It interfered later on, and I had to cut it away. As for the glue up, it's pretty easy. One mirror went together great. The second one, this one in the video, gave me a little bit of a problem, and I ended up having to use clamps. Still no big deal though. The most difficult part is having to do both ends of the last piece. A belt sander can be a great way to ruin a project really quickly. So if you're not comfortable with doing what I'm about to do, along this top edge, put some masking tape. And here's your belt sander pro tip. They're not variable speed, but they kind of are. Use it in pulses if you don't want to burn. It's almost time to hang my mirror, but there's always one more thing. These strips are about the same as this, and they'll go in the back of the larger mirror. And the reason for that is in case somebody hits the mirror or leans against it, this will support the back side and make the mirror less likely to crack. To stick them to the back of the mirror, I'm using good old silicone, which is way too much per tube now, so we want to conserve it. And a good way to do that is to use a little bit of dish soap on the end of your finger, and it will keep it from sticking to you as you make a little cork. that once cured can easily be removed. Rinse, repeat. Moving on, let's finish this up. This project turned out great, and I'm glad to share it with you. I love the simplicity of being able to remove both panels without having to use any tools. That way they can come down easily for cleaning or projects or remodeling or whatever else. But I'm not sure I'm finished. For aesthetic reasons, I'm thinking about adding a third panel right here. I think the 3 panels together would give it a really cool look. Well, let me know what you think. See you on the next subject.